Well, hey there, folks. Welcome back to another CartoonSmart.com tutorial. And we usually focus in on games here, and worlds are colliding because now the Watch OS will allow us to run a game on it. But what we need to do here is go ahead and start with our usual Sprite Kit based iOS application, and then we're going to quickly target that toward the watch. So call this whatever you want. Watch, Sprite Kit, does not matter. Let's click on next, and I'll put it in the worst possible place. Oh, I thought that was the desktop. No, it wasn't. All right, so now I have no idea where that was. So now what we're going to do is quickly extend this to the watch. So we're going to go over here to File, New Targets, and from here you want to pick out Watch OS application, and there's your familiar buddy, the little Sprite Kit mascot. We need to come up with a name for him, Spritey or something like that, and we'll just call this a watch game. Okay, so that'll be the product name for whatever we create, and we're gonna uncheck a notification scene, and don't think that we're gonna do too much in this this first video, but what we will do is kind of clean out the example project, the Hello World one, and we'll make it so that we can basically swipe the screen and move stuff around. And you'd think, well, hey, wait a minute, Justin, that sounds really familiar and sounds like stuff that you would normally do with Sprite Kit. So why don't we just go ahead and write that code in our GameScene.swift right now, and yeah, you would think that would be the case, but there's a little bit of work that we got to do with connecting up the interface storyboard with the swipe gestures that we want to add in. But yeah, if you were to run this right now, you would see some familiar things. Hello world, press down on it, do whatever. But let's get rid of all that. Let's kind of clean this up and kind of start you back at scratch. So let's, but just, for good measure, let's go and take a look at the .sks file. So if you've never done anything in Xcode before, this is going to be your scene file for Sprite Kit, so we can lay out stuff over here, color sprites, stuff like that we want to include in here. We could texture it, put an image in there if we had it imported to the assets catalog for the watch game. Do all sorts of fun stuff. But we are going to come back to this in a little bit, okay? But just to give you an idea, you do have your GameScene.sks file and your Swift file that you normally do for your Sprite Kit-based iOS applications. So let's head over here to the interface.storyboard for our watch game. And you'll notice one of the things that they've already included in here since we added a Sprite Kit watch target is our Sprite Kit scene, okay? What we are going to want to do is type in over here, put in here swipe, and drag out a swipe gesture recognizer. And you'll notice in this panel over here, and if you're not seeing it, you just click right over there, that we've got some options in here for basically determining whether it's going to be the swipe right, swipe left. You can leave that one at right if you want, and then just drag out another one. And for this one, let's put over here left. And now what we need to do is essentially kind of rig this thing up. And we're going to now jump over here to our InterfaceController.swift file, not the GameScene.swift file, and put in our IB outlets for basically recognizing that those swipe gestures have occurred. And if you're familiar with the usual tutorials over there at CartoonSmart.com, this won't look too different, although we don't often put in here IB actions because, we're so focused in on games. It's kind of rare we got to hook up anything with a storyboard. But if we do want to, we need to put in here IB action. IB stands for Interface Builder. And what we're going to do is connect up a function called handle swipe right. Okay, and we're going to pass into this the swipe gesture. Okay, and that's not your usual UI swipe gesture that might show up. Let's see, I guess it's not. But it's a new one. It's called WK for Watch Kit, I presume. WKSwipeGestureRecognizer. And let's print out a little statement that says swiped right. So we kind of get some alert to something is going on. If you did want to have a little fun. Apple doesn't really recommend doing this all the time, but if you just wanted to check this out, you can do a little taptic thing over here. .current.play and the only reason I know about this is because they actually have it in one of their examples. So what the heck, we'll throw it in here. But yeah, you know, if someone's wearing the watch, they feel these little taptic responses or notifications. And this, if I remember right from the video I watched yesterday, is the more subtle of them. They suggest this for things like opening a chest or something like that. It barely makes any noise. And then what we're going to do is basically pass another function into our GameScene.swift file, or call another one, I should say, but we'll pass into it the swipe gesture recognizer. But let's go ahead and hook up both the right and the left. So we're going to go over here and let's change this to left. And all right, that looks good. And here comes the actual part where we hook things up. So go back over here to your interface.storyboard, hit the control key. All right, you got the... If you did it successfully, you should be seeing what I'm seeing. And then pull down from right here onto your, just into this area. It's going to say InterfaceController. And then you'll notice that we have our two functions over here. And I actually forgot, this is the left one, right, that we're pulling down on. Was it? Let's see. All right, that one doesn't have one, so it must have been. And pull down again. This is going to be our swipe right with gesture recognizer. Okay, so we should be able to test it and get some feedback now that we're actually swiping back and forth on the device. And I'll let the simulator sluggishly load up, so I'll pause the video for a moment. All right, and I think only about 4 hours passed by between when I paused it and just now. Here's maybe the most important thing in this lesson. If you ever get to the point with where the watch app is not installing on the simulator, you might have to just try everything, and eventually get to the point where you just have to go over here and attach another watch to another simulator. It seems like I somehow unpaired the watches on here, and I just didn't want to pair back. So if you have to do this, just pick out one of your your phones that doesn't actually have a paired watch. Just add a new one in there, and then just close out. And, there you go. I'll just ask for a name, and I just obviously put in there another watch. So anyway, we've believe me, it took me a while to figure that out. All right, so you can see now when I swipe on it, I'm getting swiped left, swiped right. So what we want to do next is communicate that down to our game scene. So head back over here to your interface controller, and we just need to basically declare the scene that we set up over here. And to do that, we're just going to come up to the top and write var game scene. Put in here game scene. That's the type. And then if this works out right here, all we have to then do is say that our game scene is going to equal that scene that we just, or we're about to present. And you'll notice, if you're familiar with Sprite Kit, that this is a little bit different. This self.sk interface.presents scene. We usually have sk view over there, but hey, whatever works. All right, so let's head over here to our GameScene.swift file, and we'll add in there a couple functions to give us a bit of feedback. Oh, got the wrong one. There we go. Game scene. That's what we want. And let's pass, regardless of whether or not you go left or right. Let's just make one function for this. We're going to say did swipe, and then we'll pass the gesture into it. And again, that is going to be our WKSwipeGestureRecognizer. And you might notice that's not filling itself in for me. And the reason for that would be we have not imported in Watch Kit. So put over here, import Watch Kit. You'd kind of think that would be included, but hey, I guess not. All right, so hopefully that error goes away, and once it does, what we can do is we can test to see if the particular gesture that we passed into this was either right or left. So we just do dot direction. If it equals right, we'll do one thing, and we just copy in here a couple print statements that we can use. So we'll say print game scene swiped right, just to let us know for sure that that was the game scene that is telling us that. And then of course we'll test to see if this is left, and you can obviously see how we can expand this for up and down directions. Okay, and now to just kind of prove that we are back in the world of Sprite Kit, let's do something that is Sprite Kit-ish. Let's create an SK action and move around that label that we already have in there, the Hello World one, just to kind of prove that we can do it. So we're going to make a new function over here. We're going to say move somebody or some node by, and then we'll pass in here the node that we want to move, and we'll just put in here SK node. So this could potentially be any node, and then the amount we'll put in. So we'll just, and this will just be an amount on the X or Y axis. So from here, what we'll do is let move SK action, and isn't it nice to be programming for the watch with some of our familiar things? Okay, and actions haven't really changed much in Swift 3. I'll point out one difference in a moment. So we were just doing move by, and then it wants the amount, so we'll put in here amount, and then we're not going to move it at all on the y-axis. We'll put in here a duration of 1, move dot timing mode, another line that has not changed. We'll set this to ease out so it's a little bit smoother. And then who, of course, is going to be our node. And in Swift, pre-Swift 3, it was run action, right? Everybody remembers that. It's now just simply run. So we'll just put in there move. That's our action to run. And good to go. We just need to actually call this function. And we need to basically pick on somebody to move around, right? Well, we said that was going to be the label. So let's go ahead and declare that label up here so we can mention it in other functions. And that's just going to be an SK label node, and we'll just do this kind of the easiest way possible to go find it. We're going to put in here for node in self.children. So that's going to look through all the children in the scene. And if node.name equals, and I believe they call it hello label. Oh, hello. Be funny if it was hello label, as in what a hell of a good guy. But I think it's this hello label, and then we want to do just a little bit of casting in here to make sure that the node is actually a label node. So we'll say if let some label sk label equals node as sk labels, potentially preventing a crash if we tried to make label equal to some label and it wasn't actually a label. But that should succeed. And just to kind of point this out real quick, and I kind of want to double check that it was named hello label. Here it is. Okay, hello label, there you go. And then we'll come back over to here. So in our did swipe, we're going to write move somebody, and that somebody is going to be our label, and then the amount will be, I don't know, 100. If we're going to the right, that'll push it to the right, and then negative 100 for the left, and we should be good to go. You know, oh, there it is. It's about to say what the update statement is missing, but it's just right up there. We don't actually need to use it, so let's go ahead and run this guy. Hopefully I don't have to go ahead and create a whole nother paired watch and phone simulator to get this happening. All right, here we go. We should know right away. So swiped right, and oh, what did we do wrong? You know what we didn't do? We forgot to actually call did swipe. Yes, somebody I'm sure out there in Radioland noticed that. And to do this, we need to actually go over here and write GameScene.didSwipe, and then we're just passing into this the swipe gesture. So it just goes right on down the chain. There we go. And let's see, what's your complaint right here? Oh, just wants me to insert in. That's right. Parameter name. Okay, now let's try it one more time. Should be a-okay, I hope. Now this to me was the kiss of death. It would just show that watch and it wouldn't do anything else. All right, there we go. Now that's proven it's actually working. So you can see when I swipe to the left, we push it off to the left. And how cool is that? So we've kind of opened up a whole world of possibilities in terms of gaming. I think we got plenty more videos to discuss all the myriad ways that you can interact with the watch. We can actually play around with the crown. I might actually have to install Watch OS3 on my watch, and that could mean I have to upgrade my phone as well. We'll find out, because if you notice, let's go over here. I don't see anything under here about, you can hit the home button, the lock button, the side button, but I don't see anything to deal with the twisting the crown, which could be a great device for gaming. I mean, if you guys remember, the original Pong had that little, spin, rotation wheel, so you could do something like that. And that's a great way of actually interacting with the watch and not having to put your big fat finger over the screen. So anyway, let's call it quits for this video, and there's plenty more to come with all of our upcoming iOS 10 and Sprite Kit Swift 3 tutorials at cartoonsmart.com.